You won't believe what happened in today's story.
On the floor, he lies. A man stretched on his back, coat spread like wings, mouth open in a silent word. Blood runs from him in restless rivers, filling the cracks in the wooden planks, mixing with black stains of oil long since dried. The smell is a punch, rust, grease, copper, and something sweet underneath, the sweetness of rot just beginning. The air inside the workshop tastes of iron and old smoke. One step over the threshold and the room closes around me like a jaw. Shadows lean from the walls, the last working bulb crackles above, spitting light as if it wants to blind more than reveal. The tools watch. Rusty wrenches hang from nails, a hammer with its handle worn smooth by forgotten hands, a vise frozen in a grin. They don't look abandoned, they look patient. The half-built automaton on the shelf, brass face, one painted eye, stares down as if it has been waiting for this exact moment. Something shifts, a file slides across the bench with no hand to push it. A coil of wire unwinds by itself, just a breath, then stills. The sound of a clock regulator ticks from behind a wall, steady, metronomic, but every so often one beat lags like a pulse skipping. And through those tiny noises whispers form, too low to understand, too close to ignore. They're not coming from one place. They're everywhere, pressed into the walls, the beams, the air itself. I kneel beside the body. His hand is open. In his palm rests a gear, brass teeth sharp and clean, gleaming as if it had been polished seconds ago. It shouldn't be here. It belongs inside a clock or a motor, not inside a man's hand at the end of his life. Yet when I touch it, the metal feels charged, pressing a weight into my skin like memory, like the echo of something that doesn't want to be forgotten. That's when I see his chest. Over the sternum, blood has dried in a perfect circle, not a wound, not torn, stamped. The shape is clear, the exact impression of the gear I now hold, a missing part of a machine, flesh turned into socket. The bulb above us pops, a shower of sparks raining down. The automaton's single painted eye flicks sideways, catching the flash, and for one impossible second, the dead man's eyelids twitch. The drawer in the automaton's chest creaks open. From its hollow comes a sound, not wind, not machine, not voice, something between all three, and then one word, razor-thin, slides into the room. Remember. The blood on the floor ripples as if stirred by a breath. The gear in my hand bites down against my palm, and in the silence that follows, I know the workshop is alive. It has been watching for years, storing every touch, every death, every secret, and now it is ready to tell them. Only the dead man's body, half swallowed by that gear in his chest, keeps me from walking out. Because if he has been claimed, then maybe I have already been chosen too. Part 2, the cog whispers. The workshop is no longer just a room, it breathes. Every surface hums with memory, the metal taste in the air thickens. I can hear the faintest grind of a gear turning somewhere deep inside the walls, though nothing should move. And yet, somewhere beneath the floorboards, a vibration runs straight up my spine. I step over the body, careful not to touch the blood, though it spreads with every sound I make. The automaton's single painted eye follows me. Its gaze is not alive, not yet, but it knows. Something in that eye catalogs me, and then I hear it, a click, soft and deliberate, like a lock tumbling shut. On a workbench, half buried under coils of wire and stained rags, I find the first clue. A notebook, its cover blackened by age and smudged with oil, sits wedged between a rusted lathe and a stack of gears. I open it. The pages smell of varnish and something fouler underneath, like old blood mixed with machine oil. Inside are sketches, automata, mechanical hearts, loops of springs labeled with names and dates. Some pages have notes written in a script so tight and precise it feels like it was carved with a knife. One entry catches my eye. The memory is not stored, it is trapped, and it demands a toll. The whispering grows louder. Now I can understand it in fragments. Names, maybe clients, maybe victims, dates not always consistent with calendars I know, and repeated phrases mechanical like instructions, insert, align, remember. A sudden movement snaps my attention to the far corner. A wrench slides across the floor on its own, stopping just short of the dead man's outstretched fingers. I don't breathe, I don't move. The air thickens as if it has weight. Then a shadow shifts, not cast, but actual, a figure flickering just beyond the shelves. I blink and it's gone, but I know it's watching, waiting for me to notice. I pick up the brass gear from the man's hand. Its teeth are sharp, precise, almost intelligent. The stamped mark on his chest matches it exactly, but now the metal seems to pulse, as if syncing with something in the workshop itself. I hear the whispers again, clearer. Place it, complete the loop, remember. Against my better judgment, I move toward the automaton. Its chest drawer slides open fully now, revealing an empty cavity. My hand hovers over it, and a memory flares, not mine. A man's voice, soft, frightened, echoes in my mind. I see a workshop from decades ago, someone soldering a loop of wire into the chest of a small automaton, whispering over and over, "Hold them inside, keep them safe, keep them alive." The automaton shifts. Not mechanically, not with a spring or a motor. It leans slightly forward, a motion so deliberate it feels like acknowledgement. My fingers brush the gear to place it inside the chest cavity. The metal burns cold against my skin. A sudden metallic scream fills the room, the sound of hundreds of cogs grinding at once, twisting, turning. The air vibrates, tools clatter off benches, skitter across the floor. Shadows ripple, stretching and folding over themselves. And the whisper becomes a chorus, "Remember, remember, remember." The gear slides into the automaton's chest. Everything stops, silence thick as oil. The automaton's painted eye focuses on me. For a heartbeat, it is more than paint. It is expectation, judgment, memory. And then it blinks, the single eye narrowing like it knows the first chapter of a story I never wanted to read. I step back. The workshop exhales, a long metallic sigh shaking dust from the rafters. The dead man's body lies still, but something in the air insists he is not gone entirely. And I understand, suddenly, that this is only the beginning. The workshop has begun to tell its story, and I am the next listener. Somewhere deep in the shadows, a floorboard shifts again. The whisper comes from everywhere now, a single word repeated over and over. Remember. And I do. Part 3, the memory device. I can feel it before I see it. A hum, low and thrumming like a heartbeat trapped inside the walls. The air vibrates with it, pressing against my chest, forcing breath into shallow, ragged gasps. The workshop has begun to move, and I am too small, too fragile to resist its attention. I follow the sound to a corner I hadn't noticed before. Behind a stack of rusted sheet metal, an old machine lies partially assembled. Brass tubes spiral around a glass cylinder, wires writhing like snakes. Gears clink softly as if alive. A placard, faded and bent, reads, "Memory Capture Unit Experimental." The words seem almost to breathe. On the floor beside the machine are scraps of paper, notes, and a hand that quivers between precision and madness. Schematics of automata, loops of springs, names and dates, calculations for capturing more than motion, capturing essence, memory, life. I reach out. The machine vibrates faintly beneath my fingers like a living thing testing me. One panel slides open, revealing a small glass vial filled with amber liquid. Inside, suspended, is a fragment of something hair, a nail, or something far more subtle, a pulse, a heartbeat trapped in viscous clarity. I can almost hear it echoing the thrum of the workshop. The whispers intensify. They are no longer just in the walls. They thread into my skull, urgent, pleading, commanding. Insert, a line, complete. Names, voices, moments I don't remember, but somehow recognize flicker before my eyes. A man soldering loops into an automaton, a woman crying over a machine that moves without a soul, a child laughing at a gear that spins too quickly. The gear from the dead man's chest burns cold in my pocket, insistently. I know what it wants, to be placed in the device. The brass teeth glint in the dim light, reflecting fragments of the workshop, shelves, shadows, the automaton's single blinking eye, all connected, all watching. I lift the gear. The whispers crescendo into something almost intelligible, a command shaped from memory itself. Merge, remember, live. The machine vibrates under my hand, gears spinning in answer. The glass cylinder pulses. The amber liquid ripples as though stirred by a hand I cannot see. I place the gear into the mechanism. A shudder runs through the workshop. The automaton blinks once, twice. The machine hums louder, a tone that resonates in my chest and my bones. The glass cylinder glows faintly, and the fragment inside pulses with a heartbeat that is not mine, but not entirely not mine either. A vision bursts into me. I am no longer standing in the workshop. I am floating inside the gears, inside the coils of spring, inside the essence of memory itself. Faces, some familiar, some twisted beyond recognition, drift past, each one trapped in the loops of the machine. Their voices overlap in a chorus of laughter, cries, and whispers. Remember, remember, remember. I stagger back, gasping, and the hum dies instantly. The machine is still, the gear seated perfectly, the vial glowing faintly. The automaton's eye stares at me, expectant, patient, as if it has just finished a calculation and is waiting for my response. The whispers linger. Now softer, insistent, intimate. They crawl over my skin like the touch of long-dead hands, brushing my ears, my neck, my chest. Remember what you touched, remember what you made, remember what you released. And I understand. The workshop does not only remember the dead, it remembers the living. It catalogs, preserves, and shapes memory, all memory. Every touch, every breath, every heartbeat is stored somewhere in its walls, in its tools, in the spinning cogs of its endless, hungry machines. The gear is done, but the workshop is not. Somewhere in the darkness, a floorboard creaks, deliberate, slow, like the tick of a clock marking my fate, and the whispers converge on a single, urgent pulse. You are next. Part 4, the automaton speaks. The workshop feels alive now. Every breath I take is mirrored in the groan of floorboards, the squeal of metal, the subtle creak of shelves bending toward me. Shadows gather where they shouldn't. Tools twitch as if acknowledging my presence, eyes of rusted bolts and brass fittings glinting in the half-light. The automaton sits on the shelf, brass face gleaming. Its single painted eye is fixed on me, but now it moves differently. The torso turns slightly, pivoting on its invisible hinge. The hand nearest the chest drawer lifts, a slow, deliberate motion. My pulse hammers against my ribs. Then it speaks. Not with lips, no mouth moves, but with sound, mechanical and human at once, a voice carried through metal and air. You touched it, you remember, you belong. I stumble back. The gear in my pocket burns faintly, insistent. The whispers in the walls intensify, layering into one coherent cadence. Align, merge, remember. My own thoughts echo it. The workshop has planted something in me, embedded memory like a seed that thrums beneath my skull. I glance at the dead man's body. The brass gear is gone from his chest. Only a faint impression remains in dried blood like a signature. Something has moved it. My stomach twists. I feel the first genuine fear, not the kind born of death, but of intelligence. The workshop is aware. It is choosing. The automaton's chest drawer slides open fully. Inside, I see the tiny glass vial pulsing. The fragment inside moves like a living heartbeat, brightening with every pulse. I realize with a sinking certainty that it is reacting to me, to my presence, my touch, my memory. The whispers urge, insert the cog, complete the loop, remember fully. I hesitate, and the automaton leans closer. Its painted eye widens, reflecting me back with impossible clarity. Then, a sound, a rasping, metallic whisper that is unmistakably human. You will see what we preserved, you will see what you lost. The floor vibrates beneath me. A shadow detaches from the wall, indistinct at first, like smoke curling in slow motion. Then it becomes solid. A figure steps forward, tall and thin, features hidden in gloom. The whispers call its name, fragments of syllables I cannot fully piece together, yet somehow recognize. It gestures at the machine, at the gear, at me. The automaton clicks, small pistons hissing, as if nodding in agreement. The shadow speaks, and the sound is layered, human, machine, memory itself. The price of remembrance is presence. The workshop chooses. The air thickens. I can taste copper on my tongue, sweat running down my temples. My hands shake, and the gear slips from my pocket, landing on the floor. The automaton's eye follows it as if it has waited centuries for this exact motion. I pick it up again. The whispers converge in my head, now insistent, almost pleading. Remember, merge, live. The amber vial pulses brighter. The fragment inside shimmers with life that is not mine, yet somehow resonates with me. The shadow moves closer, and the automaton's painted eye seems to pierce through to something deeper than flesh, deeper than bone. I understand. The workshop does not merely remember, it reclaims, it preserves, it tests. Every cog, every automaton, every gear is a vessel, and now I am part of the experiment. A single thought slices through panic. If I complete the machine, if I merge, if I remember fully, will I survive? Or will I become just another gear in the workshop's endless memory? The automaton tilts its head, and in the dim light I swear its eye winks. The whispers settle into a rhythm, a heartbeat of the building, patient and eternal. Remember or be forgotten. Part 5, the first shadow. The air thickens with pressure, like the room is holding its breath. The automaton sits motionless now, but the hum from the machine grows louder, vibrating through the floor into my bones. The gear in my hand thrums with the same pulse. I feel it sync with my heartbeat, as if my very life has become part of its mechanism. Then I see it. A shadow detaches itself from the corner, thin at first, flickering like smoke caught in light. But it solidifies with every heartbeat, limbs stretching, torso elongating, head tilting at an impossible angle. Its eyes glow faintly, like molten brass. The whispering converges on it, calling names I do not recognize, yet somehow remember. It moves toward me. Not walking, gliding, floating over the floorboards, silent except for the faint metallic scrape that might be claws or gears. I want to step back, but my legs betray me. The gear burns in my palm, insistent, as if commanding me to stay. The automaton's painted eye blinks once, twice, then tilts its head toward the shadow. A click escapes its chest, a mechanical sound, deliberate, acknowledging. The shadow speaks. Not words, not entirely. A series of clicks and sighs that my mind translates instinctively into sense. You carry the mark, you are of the line, the workshop waits for you. I try to speak, but no sound comes. The air vibrates with whispers from every corner, every shelf, every forgotten tool. They speak in unison now, a chant layered over memory, metal, and blood. Remember, merge, live, remember, merge, live. I notice movement behind the shadow. Another figure, less solid, flickering like a broken projection. Its hands are outstretched, reaching for something, me, the gear, the machine. I can see the faint impression of a face beneath the mist, a resemblance that chills me. One of the old photographs I've seen of my great-grandfather, bent over his automata, soldering loops into tiny chests, eyes wide with obsession. The gear burns hotter in my palm. The whispers converge into one voice, human and machine at once. Complete it, remember fully, join the line. I understand the workshop does not merely store memory, it preserves lineage, it chooses successors, it has been waiting for me. Every tool, every automaton, every shadow is part of a network of recollection and obsession. Every member of my family has touched it, and now it touches me. The shadow reaches closer, its molten eyes pierce my chest. I feel the past and present collide, the experiments of my ancestors, the lives stolen and stored in brass and glass, the whispered bargains made in blood and oil. It all comes rushing in. The automaton leans forward, its chest cavity glowing faintly. The amber vial inside pulses. The gear burns in my palm, the whispers chant, the shadow hovers waiting for my choice. And I know if I place the gear in the device, if I merge, I will see everything, all the memories, all the secrets, all the sins of my family, but I may never return. A final metallic whisper slices through the chamber. Remember or become part of the memory. The shadow extends a limb, impossibly long, impossibly deliberate. The workshop waits. And I step forward. Part 6, the memory unravels. The moment the gear slips into the machine, everything shifts. A tremor runs through the floor, faint at first, then growing, as if the workshop itself is exhaling, stretching, remembering. The hum of the device rises into a shrill whistle, and I feel the pulse in the gear match my own heartbeat exactly. I am no longer merely in the room. Visions strike me like shards. Faces I do not know yet recognize, ancestors, clients, victims, flicker across my mind. I see my great-grandfather bending over automata, soldering loops of wire into tiny chests, murmuring to the brass dolls, "Hold them, keep them alive, remember them." Each loop, each cog, each mechanism carries a fragment of a life, a memory, a soul. I feel it enter me. A flood of sensations, too vivid, too real. I taste the copper tang of blood from a century ago. I smell oil and varnish from a workshop I never visited. I hear laughter, screams, whispers overlapping, layer upon layer, spinning in my skull like gears grinding against bone. I stumble backward, clutching the gear. The automaton leans closer, its single eye glowing bright as a warning. The amber vial pulses violently, the fragment inside now a bright spark, connecting past and present. My mind reels. I am no longer alone, I am a conduit. Every memory stored here reaches through me. A scream erupts in my ears, not mine, not entirely human, and I collapse to my knees. The floorboards vibrate beneath me, the air thick with the metallic scent of machinery and blood. Shadows curl around the edges of the room, twisting into shapes I cannot identify. Faces, limbs, gears meshing into flesh. I see her, a woman, young, terrified, trapped inside a mechanical automaton. Her eyes meet mine, pleading, "Help me, free me, remember." But the moment she speaks, I am pulled into another vision. A workshop in the early 1900s, my ancestors soldering loops into dolls, using blood as lubricant, whispering to the brass hearts, "Let them live, but at a price. Let them remember." The cost is immediate. My fingers burn where I touch the gear. My mind reels with lives I did not live, memories I was never meant to witness. The automaton clicks, small pistons hissing, almost alive with intent. The shadow from before hovers nearby, its molten eyes watching, waiting for my reaction. I scream, but the sound is drowned by whispers. They chant now not just around me, but inside me. Merge, remember, live, merge, remember, live. Every pulse, every breath, every heartbeat in the workshop syncs with mine. I realize with horror, I am becoming part of the memory, part of the machine, part of the workshop itself. And then, clarity. Amid the chaos, one thought breaks through. The workshop is teaching me. Every gear, every automaton, every shadow is a lesson, a record, a warning. If I survive this, I will know everything the workshop has stored. Every deal, every betrayal, every stolen memory, and I will carry it all, willingly or not. The first wave of memories subsides. I am still on my knees, the gear clutched tightly, the automaton's eye fixed on me like a sentinel. The amber vial glows softly, the fragment inside now calm, pulsing gently with life, but I am changed. The workshop has marked me. I can feel it in my bones, in my nerves, in the marrow of my mind. Somewhere in the shadows, the floorboard shifts. The whisper threads through my skull. You have begun, there is no return. And I understand the memory is not mine. It never will be, but I am part of it now. Part 7, The Price of Memory. The workshop is no longer just walls and tools. It breathes through me, pulses through me, twists reality around me. Every gear I touched hums, every automaton's eye glows, every shadow waits with deliberate patience. My body aches as if memory itself is physical, aching in bones, in sinew, in nerves I didn't know existed. I stagger toward the machine. The amber vial pulses violently now, bright as molten gold. The fragment inside writhes like a tiny heart, synchronized with my own pulse. Every step I take leaves a ripple in the floorboards, and the air itself seems thicker, sticky with the scent of oil, blood, and something far older, rot laced with metal. Then it happens. A shiver runs through me. My vision blurs and I feel my own muscles stiffen, twisting against my will. Fingers curl and flex, forming shapes I do not intend. My mouth opens, but the words that come out are not mine. Whispers in a chorus, remember, merge live. The shadow appears again. Molten eyes fixed on me, stretching impossibly tall, arms elongated like gears in motion. Its voice blends with the mechanical hum, layering over every memory, every scream, every whisper I've absorbed. You cannot hold it all. The cost is flesh. The cost is mine. My skin crawls. I feel cold and fire simultaneously. The workshop presses on me, tighter, pulling, testing. My chest aches as if cogs are grinding inside me, my heart caught in some hidden mechanism. I stumble to the floor, clutching the gear, clutching the vial, clutching myself. The automaton leans closer. Its single eye widens, and for a brief, impossible moment I swear it is laughing. The chest drawer opens, revealing not the vial this time, but a small brass key. Its edges are sharp, engraved with symbols I do not recognize but know instinctively. The whispers converge on it, turn it, pay the toll, survive. I hesitate. Every fiber in me screams to flee, to abandon the workshop, to let the machine keep the memories it offered. But I know that if I do, I will never leave. The shadows, the whispers, the automaton, even the gear in my hand, they all belong to the workshop now, and I belong to it. With shaking hands, I take the key and place it into a hidden slot on the machine. The moment it clicks into place, the air ignites. Not fire, not smoke, but something older, something alive. The shadows stretch and twist, the walls shudder, and from every corner a voice, human, mechanical, and demonic, cries. The price, the price, the price. Pain explodes through me, not just physical, but memory itself tearing at my mind. Faces, lives, events, some I lived, some I witnessed through the workshop's machines, all collide, fragmenting reality around me. I scream, but the scream is drowned by the crescendo of cogs, gears, and whispers, a machine orchestrated by souls long claimed. And then abruptly, silence. The amber vial dims, the automaton sits rigid, the shadow freezes in mid-motion. My chest heaves, my skin tingles, and the gear burns faintly like a warning. I am alive, for now. But the workshop has left its mark deep inside me, and I know with certainty. This is only the beginning. Somewhere in the walls, a floorboard creaks, deliberate, 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 and the whisper threads through my skull one last time for the moment. You are ours, remember, or become memory. Part 8, The Living Gears. The workshop no longer waits. It moves, shifts, breathes in rhythm with my own pulse. Every gear, every automaton, every shadow seems conscious now, observing, judging, deciding what part of me it will claim next. My hands tremble uncontrollably. The amber vial glows faintly, the fragment inside beating like a tiny, stubborn heart. I hear the cogs first. Soft at first, clicks and whispers, then louder, more deliberate, grinding against the wooden floor and my bones alike. The sound resonates in my chest, forcing me to stagger. The shadows stretch across the walls like oil spilling over bricks, forming shapes I cannot identify, twisted limbs, half-formed faces, and eyes, too many eyes, watching. The automaton moves. Not mechanically this time, but with intent, deliberate. Its painted eye follows me as I step backward, every movement catalogued. A small compartment in its chest slides open, revealing another gear, smaller, sharper, jagged. The whispers rise again, insert, complete, merge. I feel it. The machine, the workshop, even the shadows all reach for me. My mind reels as I glimpse memories not mine. Ancestors soldering brass hearts, clients pleading, children laughing then screaming, all trapped, all spinning in loops, gears inside flesh and memory inside cogs. the line between living and mechanical blurs. Then the shadow moves. Closer, its molten eyes lock onto mine. I hear it in the whispers, its voice inside my skull. Take it, you belong or become part. Its elongated fingers twitch like levers, brushing across the air, tugging at my thoughts, my memories, my soul. The amber vial pulses violently. I know what must be done. The gear in the automaton's chest must merge with the fragment inside the vial. The whispers chant in my mind, merge, remember, live. My fingers, trembling, place the jagged gear into the glass, and the workshop shudders violently, as if the building itself is alive, expanding, growing, digesting memory and flesh alike. Pain erupts. Not in my body, but in my mind, every memory colliding, overlapping, fragmenting. I see the dead man again, his chest stamped with a gear, his eyes twitching. I see every automaton ever built in this workshop, every cog ever forged, every fragment of a soul trapped and spinning endlessly. I feel the hunger of the workshop, its need to catalog, to preserve, to consume. And then clarity. I understand the rules now. Every touch, every insertion, every memory preserved comes at a cost. Flesh bends, mind breaks, spirit warps, and the workshop waits, patient, deliberate, hungry. The shadow leans closer. Its molten eyes burn into mine. The automaton tilts its head, clicking. The amber vial glows brighter. My pulse syncs with the machine. I am both observer and participant, victim and instrument. And in that moment, I know it is watching me completely. The workshop chooses. The gears live. And I must join. Part 9, The Fractured Mind. I no longer know where I end and the workshop begins. Every sound, a squeal of metal, a creak of floorboards, a whisper from the walls echoes inside me, twisting, looping, layering over my own thoughts. My heartbeat is no longer my own. It matches the pulse of the gears, the hum of the amber vial, the rhythm of the automaton's blinking eye. I stumble through the shadows. Faces flicker in the corners of my vision, some human, some mechanical, all screaming silently. They merge with memory fragments, my ancestors soldering loops, clients begging, victims trapped inside automata. The boundaries of time collapse. Yesterday, a century ago, and this instant are one. A whisper slithers through my skull. You cannot hold it, you cannot resist. The shadow emerges from the corner, molten eyes fixed on me. Limbs stretch unnaturally, twisting as if made of gears and sinew at once. Every movement feels deliberate, designed to break me, to test me. The automaton leans forward, chest cavity glowing. The amber vial pulses violently. It emits a low hum, merging with the sound of my own frantic breathing. I reach toward it, fingers trembling. Another vision hits, a child laughing, then crying as brass teeth sink into soft flesh. The scream is mine and not mine. I feel the fracture. Thoughts splinter, flickering between me and the memories the workshop feeds me. Names, faces, screams, laughter, commands, all tangled together. I cannot separate my own consciousness from the chorus. I stagger to the wall, clutching the gear, clutching myself, trying to anchor reality. Then the shadow speaks directly into my mind. Join us, remember everything, or be erased. The words are not just heard, they are felt. My bones shiver, my blood vibrates, my teeth grind. I realize the workshop is not merely preserving memory, it is selecting, merging, absorbing, and I am the latest candidate. The floorboards quake. Tools tumble off shelves on their own, spinning gears clattering against each other. The automaton's eye widens. The amber vial pulses faster, hotter. I feel myself stretching, bending inside my own skull. Every memory I have lived, every memory I have witnessed, every memory the workshop has ever held is pressing inward, reshaping me. A sudden clarity pierces the chaos. The workshop does not care about survival, it cares about completion. Every cog, every automaton, every shadow is a piece of a larger mechanism, and I am now a gear in its relentless machine. I scream, but the sound is absorbed instantly. The shadows curl closer, the automaton leans further, and the vial glows brighter than ever. My vision fractures further. Faces and machines spin together, gears and flesh melding, memories overlapping, screaming, merge, remember, live, merge, remember, live. And I know, finally, that my mind is no longer solely mine. The workshop has begun its work. Part 10, The Demons Within. The workshop pulses around me like a living organism. Every wall vibrates, every gear turns without touch, every shadow stretches toward me with intent. My heartbeat has synchronized completely with the automaton's hum, the amber vial's pulse, the grinding of countless gears hidden in the darkness. I am no longer just present, I am part of the system. Then they appear. Not shadows this time, but full, twisted forms. limbs jointed impossibly, faces fused with brass plates and clockwork eyes. Their movements are precise and mechanical, yet disturbingly sentient. Whispers explode into screams, and the air is heavy with the metallic tang of blood and oil. One steps forward, molten eyes burning into my chest. Its voice threads into my mind, human and machine together. You belongs, you remember, you pay. I stumble backward, and the automaton reacts instantly. Its single eye glows fiercely, pistons hissing, small levers clicking as if forming a barrier. But the shadows know, the demons do not relent. They slide across the floor like liquid, their elongated fingers grazing the walls, scraping against the amber vial, sending tremors through the gear in my hand. I clutch the gear tightly, trying to ground myself. The whispers scream, "Merge, remember, live, merge, remember, live." The fragment in the vial pulses violently, burning like a living heart. My mind fractures further as I am forced to relive every memory, my own and those absorbed from the workshop, in overlapping layers of terror, guilt, and obsession. A metallic scream pierces the chaos. The automaton throws itself forward, blocking a demon's approach. Pistons hiss and gears spin, but the shadow melts around it, stretching into new shapes, slipping past defenses like smoke. I realize the demons are not separate from the workshop. They are the workshop, memories made flesh, machinery made alive, every wrong, every bargain, every stolen life given form. Pain flares in my chest. The gear burns, the vial pulses. My vision fractures, showing me the first murder again, blood soaking into the floor, the gear pressed into flesh, the victim twitching under some unseen command. I scream, but it is swallowed by 1,000 voices. And then a moment of clarity, brief, like lightning. The workshop does not attack to kill. It tests, it pressures. It demands compliance, understanding, submission. The demons are not the enemy, the workshop is, and I am now fully a part of its experiment. The automaton leans closer, its painted eye gleaming. Pistons hiss, levers click. The amber vial pulses faster than my heartbeat. I feel the pull, the pressure, the tug of memory, flesh and machine converging. A whisper threads into my mind with cold precision. Remember fully or be consumed entirely. I stagger forward toward the device, toward the machine, toward the center of the workshop's intent. The demons glide around me, molten eyes burning, metallic limbs scraping the walls, surrounding me in a cage of living, remembering gears. I know now survival is no longer the goal. Understanding is, memory is the price, and the workshop waits for my final submission.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more stories.